just got bags from Prada. Rolling up, I'm in a brand new model. It'll be here tomorrow. I don't got fears or problems. Only got real ones round them. Back up, name the place and we pack up. Running these racks up, 100 meals a week after. Dying from laughter. When it come to handles, never had one. With a bad one, made a meal today and they my last.
Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up. I can't take no loss. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Better kill it and did it again. I'm ready in 10, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it.
Know you sad about it. Know you sad about it.
I'm moving too fast, I can't stop. Wiping it down with the paint hot. Left hand on the wheel. I'm closing the top on the raindrop. I'm keeping the game in the headlock. When throwed and blinded my dreadlock. In the end zone with the mad dot. One phone call, get it dead stop. I feel like I own the season. Say one thing, just give me a reason. Knowing you're mad, I'm under dog, making it even.
Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up.
I can't take no loss. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Better kill it and did it again. I'm ready in 10, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it.
Know you sad about it. Know you sad about it.
Fools my sons. Haha, bag up off me and watch you lose. Snoop Dogg is on the mic, I'm giving Madden blues. And if you choose to run up on me, you gon' get laid out so fast. Cause I can get you with the run or I can hit you with the pass. Come on. I can't be touched and I can't be schemed. Roll you when I'm in a mud league. 2-0, 2-0, Madden time on you suckers. Y'all can't get close, so why you wanna touch us? Cause my team is so hard. My team is legit. Madden 20, Snoop Dogg is. I get it. Come on. I got cleats on my feet, jersey on my back, helmet on my head, ready to attack like that. Down in Mississippi and New Orleans, big Snoop Dogg got a Madden lead. Your team is off the hook and you don't really want none, but if you do, come and get some. See, tell your mama and tell your daddy. Tell the whole damn world this is Madden territory. Tell your mama and tell your daddy. Tell the whole damn world this is Madden territory. Come get some if you want some, but you ain't bad enough, so you can't take none. I'm Big Snoop Dogg, and I'm the only one. And when it comes to Madden, all y'all fools my sons. Bag up off me and watch you lose. Snoop Dogg is on the mic, I'm giving Madden blues. And if you choose to run up on me, you gon' get laid out so fast. Cause I can get you with the run or I can hit you with the pass. Come on. I can't be touched and I can't be schemed. Roll you when I'm in a mud league. 2-0, 2-0, Madden time on you suckers. Y'all can't get close, so why you wanna touch us? Cause my team is so hard. My team is legit. Madden 20, Snoop Dogg is. Now get it. Come on. Go. Big Snoop Dogg. It's in the game.
diamond. She want bring the limes in. She wanna pull up to the crib, we can't dine in. Up right away, couldn't even get a vine in.
I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We are just moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor at M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. The losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, they come in off a loss last time out, but they've been playing better than 500 ball the last couple months. 5 wins in their last 8 games. Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. They'll be led out by the former Texas Christian University Horned Frog, Andy Dalton.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the one interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his O-line and just went.
So there's 2 ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. But more the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. Has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. 15 yards on the play, first down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Dalton operating in the red zone now. That is caught inside the 5. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll run. Anderson. And he goes backwards on this one. Losing yardage to the 7. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. A tale of 2 extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run.
And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Tyler Eifert, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Final week of the year, an absolute must-win game for them, so they needed to get on the board first. They were able to do just that.
And you laid out the stakes. So just think what they've been working with this entire build-up towards this game. Must win. You've got to get on the board first. They accomplished that. Now they can't have any type of a letdown. Long way to go in this one.
Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And it's now a 7-0 game. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. So here are the Ravens now as in possession. Commanding the offense will be Lamar Jackson, quarterback out of the University of Louisville.
If you just break it down in individual terms, he played really well last week. 0 interceptions, 3 touchdown passes. Not a whole lot more he could have done to win that game. But you know something, the 2 that didn't get done.
Good sign of a leader.
Great sign of a leader because they didn't win, and that's all he cares about.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 20. Boy, nowhere to go at all on that 1st down run as they will get to him behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Jackson, option right. He can run for it, and he will. An excellent run of 22 yards on the keeper and also a 1st down.
And that was a nice, strong run by the guy they call the field general.
Now the Georgia Southern man, this is Jerick McKinnon. And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
From midfield now, here's Jackson. Over the middle, complete. It's Lamb. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 40.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, How about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Second down, McKinnon. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
From the gun on third down, Jackson. That is caught at the 7. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told, and it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bengal offense on their way out as we look at the playoff race in the AFC. And this certainly confirms all the chatter, how big of a final weekend this is. For the moment, the 6th seed is theirs, but it'll take a victory to officially lock that down.
I hear the excitement in your voice about this.
Or nervousness, both ways.
Either way, but you know, I've never met a player who didn't go into a game with a little bit of nervousness and played well and didn't play well. Because look, if you go in without that edge, and to this game has an edge to it, doesn't it? Then you're really not going to perform that well.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
They were looking good on second down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. To throw here, Dalton. That's complete to John Ross. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 14 on that one, and a first down. Dalton going to break the huddle, come up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
A first down throw coming for Dalton. And the catch good. It's Eifert. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make this a 2nd down. From the gun, it's a give to Anderson. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. First and 10 for Dalton. He's got Anderson right side. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll make it second down. Defensively, here are the starters for Baltimore. And this unit, very tough to throw against, currently second best in the NFL.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Run for Pollard. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. These two teams all tied after 1. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Von Miller has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
On is Josh Lambo for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 44 yards out. And Lambo will put this one through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. Anytime you're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage, that didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more.
When you try to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
Now it's Jackson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that'll be incomplete. Now, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Ross on the return. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. And gearing up for another drive, Tyler Eifert trots back onto the field. He's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season, but you read the local paper this morning. There was no talk of that mark. They interviewed him, and he wasn't talking about 1,000 yards. The old cliche focused on this game. If he has a big one, might be able to get the win and 1,000 yards.
Seems like he just wants to let it come to him, right, as opposed to trying to force it. That's probably the right idea and the right attitude. So game situation, play calling will dictate things. Now, how does he get there once he tries to get hot? Formations, route running, trying to get mismatches for him, different types of routes he will run downfield, short, medium, long. All those things will come into play as he tries to get to that magical number.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Watch left, watch left, watch left. He's tight right there.
From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. All the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
On 4th down on now is the lefty Ryan Allen to punt. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
In the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get
things up.
You look at what you've called before, realize, try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins home.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson. And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. So the screen pass goes backwards. That play seemed to have a potential disaster written all over it from the start.
I mean, wasn't that a tough spot on the field to make that call? You're inviting defensive linemen and linebackers to get pressure. So if one of them sniffs this out, you're definitely in danger. And this time, it cost them 2 points.
Now the free kick comes after the safety from the 20 as they bring the punter on to try and get some hang time here. Now here's Ross. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the players and coaches. There's just with them a palpable buzz right now. They know they control their own destiny.
Win, and you're in. And I think every player wants that. I think every coach wants that. I haven't been an organization yet that wants to be in a game where they have to rely on other teams to get them to their goals. In this situation, it's very cut and dry. Win, and you're in the playoffs. That's their mission. That's their challenge. And you know they've chosen to accept it.
And what they told us is this has been the most focused week of practice we've had all year. You wouldn't expect any different.
Yeah, and you know, at the beginning of the season, you have multiple goals. They just have one now. Win the game.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. They'll give to Anderson here out of the gun. And once again, they stop him behind the line. Great job by this Ravens defense. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Dalton here from the gun. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Rashawn Gary in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
Here's Ryan Allen now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get. And it's just so strange to see that go up on the board. And then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But, boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
First play of the drive, a first down run. Well, that sets you up for whichever way you want to go. Do you come right back and run the football again because you've got them on their heels? Or do you play chess match with them, break tendency, and go play action and go for the big shot?
On first down, Dobbins. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Jackson fakes the give and keeps it. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Lamb. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Jackson from the shotgun. He almost had it. The big D lineman nearly had an interception. Instead, it falls down incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. He may try and run for this. And a nice job there defensively. They get him to the ground short of the first, right around the 42. He'll get 7 yards there on the keeper, but still 4th down. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And that will cut the lead down to just 2. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Here we go with a player spotlight, and we shine that spotlight on Andy Dalton. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. From the gun, Dalton. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. He'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Dalton. Screen play. Anderson.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
No gain, and it's second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carl Lawson in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
After the sack on first down, Jackson, Hollywood Brown, the intended receiver, third down here. The Ravens on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and a mile. From the gun, it's Jackson. He's going to look deep down the field. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. William Jackson with a pick, and they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
Their D gets the INT. Now what can Dalton do? Open man is Uzama. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. 10th carry now for Anderson. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Dalton under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. Rashawn Gary in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Dalton. That's caught right side by Anderson. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack, but that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
And he's got it complete to Anderson. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. This from 54 yards away. And And this one is no good. He missed it. And this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get him back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that second touchdown now. This time Jackson will throw it. Going for a right side here, complete. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Jackson now 6 of 10 in this first half. He's got his guys a first down here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. He connected on his first. This time it's 39 yards away. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our Halftime Report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time. We'll start up in the Steel City, Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. And that one just before halftime with the Jaguars out on top. Leonard Fournette with 2 touchdown runs. From there, we head over to the Windy City. Check on the Bears at home, Soldier Field. And they trail the visiting Lions in that one. 2 touchdown passes for Matthew Stafford. Lastly, let's head up to the Twin Cities to check in on the Vikings at home in Minneapolis. And that one all tied against the visiting Saints. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
On second down, McKinnon. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. They control the clock, they control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards to pick up there, good for a Raven first.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So after the run by McKinnon, here's 1st and 10.
Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got?
Play action. It's Jackson. He'll rifle this one deep right. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Sean Williams. And he will take this all the way up past the 40-yard line.
Let's go, man. Pick 6 all day.
First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Dalton bootlegs out. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Von Miller, a milestone sack for him as it moves him past Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor, who finished his career with 132.5.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Here's Dalton. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Boyd. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Here's Anderson. He's got it on the draw. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. It'll be a gain of 7, but I'd imagine we'll see the punt team here on 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
Let's go! Let's go!
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now.
There is no doubt that Geno Atkins is really strong and stout at the point of attack, but I love his suddenness, the ability to make plays, to be in one spot, and then he's gone and into the offensive backfield. He's a heck of a player.
And they're a big TFL, tackle for loss.
Hard to believe that his father, Gene Atkins, was an NFL defensive back, has bred this big defensive tackle.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On 1st down, McKinnon again. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know. Defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. Steps away to his left. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
So much of this game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always...
The Bengals bring pressure, and it's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. Now, so much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you. No. In however form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that'll bring up second down. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Throwing, Dalton. This will be caught at about the 5. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. And the Bengal fans are probably saying, where has that been?
And they have to, because everyone wants to talk about having a balanced offense. But these two, Andy Dalton, A.J. Green, their connection is vital to their chances of winning.
And it's caught. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. John Ross, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals are going to jump back in front.
Great field position has to be one of the best friends an offense can have. When you don't have very far to go, you should cash it in with points.
And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. And he is not going to make it to the goal line. So the defense holds, and this remains a 5-point game. So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
And the Ravens taking the field. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 21.
Let's go.
Play action. Now Jackson. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Geno Atkins got home that time. Coming off the line, he's been wreaking havoc all year. And look, that's why, as a result, he's getting some looks for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
And I know that many people don't have him first on their list right now, but he deserves that type of consideration. You mentioned it. All year long, he's made big plays and continues to do so. Imagine if he has a big game here. If so, he could vault himself right into the number 1 spot.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. To throw is Jackson. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Blake Martinez. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
1st down. Here's the run with Anderson. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Dalton. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
On is Josh Lambo for the field goal try. This from 54 yards away. And this one is right down Broadway. And that'll push the lead up to 8. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And it'll be a terrific return here as he gets it down all the way inside the 30.
It's the third quarter, and they're down on the scoreboard, and while no one wants to hit the panic button just yet, points are a necessity on this drive. What a great way to get set up.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. His pass caught at the 4. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Throwing is Jackson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Mark Andrews with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year, as his guys have cut the lead down to 2. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
So the Ravens will keep the offense on the field as they're going to go for 2. To throw again is Jackson. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
They made the decision to go for 2. They didn't get it. They remained down by 2 points. Should they have kicked it there?
Third quarter, I'm okay with it. Maybe first or second, you don't? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, again, I keep coming back to I don't like to chase a lot of points, but I also don't know what kicking an extra point being down 1 does for me.
Getting set to go again, Andy Dalton marches back onto the field. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your pro? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
That's what he's done here in this one so far. A throw over the middle, taken in. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there. And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
A false start backs them up 5. 1st and 15. They run. Anderson. They get 1 yard back there to make it 2nd and 14. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Dalton. Now they go screen. It's complete. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down. So nothing there on the screen that time.
That means all that great acting they tried on offense went for naught, didn't it? Because you have to try and influence them. Make them think that you're doing something else. Make them think that they can get to the passer by letting them by and then setting up the screen and getting downfield. Didn't happen at all. Give a lot of credit to the defense for not tumbling to that one.
I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are doing.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise, this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
No lack of guts at all on that one. Normally in this situation in the red zone, that type of play isn't run, but I think they're trying to catch the defense off guard and also break tendency.
And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Jarek McKinnon with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Ravens have once again taken the lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Tucker now for the extra point. And the lead is up to 5. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And now the throw hauled in by Green. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, Dalton. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Rashawn Gary, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Dalton now to pass. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. They'll get 3 out of the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
3rd and long. What will Dalton dial up? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Here's Ryan Allen now. He's been terrific so far. This is taken at the 18. Well, that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now Jackson. It's complete to Brown, right side. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there and a first down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Right back to him on first down. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following.
And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
They'll run on first down. Dobbins. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Making the play defensively, Carl Lawson.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key third down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means it might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key third down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run it now out of the gun. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
The linebacker, Preston Brown, brings him down.
Not your conventional play call, but that's okay. You probe the defense a little bit with some of everything in your playbook. That way they have to account for everything as the game moves on.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. He can run for it, and he will. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. 25 yards as the Ravens push further out in front.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt-away-the-game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run-pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Dalton and the offense now. Down by 12. A minute 54 on the clock. A crushing loss to their playoff chances on the horizon, barring a huge turnaround here, starting with 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. Hauled in by Anderson, left side. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Dalton, and Anderson's got it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. Andy Dalton. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down.
And I think we'll probably see him go for it here on 4th down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
4th down. Dalton wants to throw. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by James Bradbury. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. On 4th down, that turned out like a punt. Maybe he was better defensively there just to knock it down.
And you know they go over those situations. All right, 4th down, where's the ball? Where would we get the ball? But instinct takes over, and when it's in the air, they just go and get it. So it's hard to get on him for intercepting it, but the smart play would have been what you suggested. Knock it down and take over in a deeper position.
The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And checking the timeouts, they do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that. And he'll give it here to his running back. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 4. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. And to give this time to the tailback. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. The Ravens on 3rd down, 5 out of 9 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Now a fair catch signaled for and made right about the 43-yard line. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for the Ravens, they will indeed finish over 500 at 9-7. And that is maybe not exactly what they were hoping for, but a better-than-average season nonetheless. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, this loss will mean they finish the season right at 500 at 8-8. And they'll get their shot at playoff football as they'll be on the road next week as a wild card. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaud. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.